Okay, real talk. Is your toddler turning your living room into a tooting symphony? If you've ever found yourself giggling, groaning, or even just shaking your head at the sheer volume of gas your little one can produce, you're definitely not alone. It's one of those universal parenting experiences that's both hilarious and, let's be honest, a little mystifying. How can someone so small make so much noise? You are not alone. Toddlers are famous for their farts, and most of the time it's totally normal. In fact, if you were to ask a room full of parents about their toddler's gas, you'd probably get a chorus of stories, laughter, and maybe even a few eye rolls. It's just part of the wild ride that is raising a young child. But why does it happen so much, and should you ever be concerned? Let's talk about why it happens, and when it might be time to check in with your doctor. Understanding the reasons behind all those toots can help you feel more confident as a parent, and know when it's just a funny phase, or when it's time to get some expert advice. First off, little kids have immature digestive systems. Their tiny tummies and intestines are still learning how to handle all the new foods and drinks they're being introduced to. Unlike adults who have had years to develop strong digestive muscles and efficient systems, toddlers are still figuring it all out, one bite at a time. They're learning how to chew, swallow, and process all kinds of new foods. Every meal is an adventure, and sometimes that means food isn't chewed as thoroughly as it could be, or it goes down with a little extra air. Plus, toddlers are notorious for eating quickly, talking while eating, or even laughing with their mouths full, all of which can lead to more swallowed air and, you guessed it, more gas. All that experimenting means extra air gets swallowed, and, you guessed it, out comes the gas. Sometimes it's not just the food itself, but the way your toddler eats that makes a difference. Blowing bubbles in their milk, making silly faces, or even just being a little too enthusiastic at mealtime can all add up to a gassy aftermath. Beans, dairy, apples, even sippy cups can make things noisier down there. Foods that are high in fiber, like beans and certain fruits, are well known for causing gas in people of all ages. But toddlers are especially sensitive. Dairy products, especially if your child is just starting to drink cow's milk, can also be a culprit. And don't forget about those sippy cups. Sometimes the way a child drinks from them can cause them to swallow more air than you'd expect. Even the simple act of drinking through a straw or a spout can introduce extra air into their digestive tract. And let's not forget about carbonated drinks or juices, which can add to the bubble party happening in your toddler's belly. All these factors combine to create a perfect storm for frequent and sometimes loud toots. But here's the good news. If your toddler's farting but seems happy, is eating well and isn't in pain, it's just part of growing up. Most of the time, a gassy toddler is a healthy toddler. Their bodies are simply adjusting to new foods, new routines, and the process of learning how to eat and digest like a big kid. Most of the time, the smell is the worst part. Sure, it can clear a room or make you wish you had a gas mask handy, but it's rarely a sign of anything serious. In fact, it's a sign that your child's digestive system is working, even if it's a little noisy about it. It can actually be a great opportunity to teach your child about their body. Explaining that everyone farts and that it's a normal part of digestion can help take away any embarrassment or shame. Plus, it might even make for a few giggles and funny family stories down the road. Now, when should you worry? Pay attention if your child has constant tummy pain, diarrhea, vomiting, blood in the stool, or if the gas is accompanied by a sudden change in appetite or weight loss. These can be signs that something more serious is going on, like a food intolerance, allergy, or even an infection, or just seems really uncomfortable. If your toddler is crying, pulling their legs up to their tummy, or just can't seem to get comfortable, it's worth taking a closer look. Trust your instincts. You know your child best, and if something feels off, it's always better to check in with a professional. That's when it's smart to call your pediatrician. They can help you figure out if it's just a normal part of development, or if there's something else going on that needs attention. Don't be afraid to ask questions or share your concerns. That's what your child's doctor is there for. Want to dial down the toots? Try slowing down meal times, limit fizzy drinks, and encourage your child to take small bites and chew thoroughly. Eating slowly can help reduce the amount of air swallowed, and swapping out carbonated drinks for water or milk can make a big difference. And watch out for gas trigger foods. Every child is different, so you might need to do a little detective work to figure out which foods are causing the most trouble. Keep an eye on how your toddler reacts to things like beans, broccoli, apples, or dairy, and adjust their diet as needed. Sometimes, keeping a simple food diary can help you spot patterns and identify which foods are the biggest culprits. Share this information with your pediatrician if you have concerns. It can be a helpful tool in figuring out what's going on. Sometimes just switching up a cup or taking more breaks during meals can help a lot. If your toddler is using a sippy cup or straw, try offering an open cup or a different style to see if it makes a difference. And don't forget to build in little pauses during meals to let your child catch their breath and avoid gulping down too much air. Bottom line, a gassy toddler is usually a healthy toddler. Their bodies are growing, changing, and learning every day, and a little extra gas is just one of the many quirks that come with this stage of life. As long as your child is happy, active, and meeting their milestones, there's usually nothing to worry about. But if something feels off, trust your gut and get it checked out. You know your child better than anyone, and your intuition is a powerful tool. If you're ever unsure, don't hesitate to reach out for help or reassurance. And remember, parenting is full of surprises. And yes, sometimes that means farts. Embrace the silly moments, laugh when you can, and know that this too shall pass, sometimes with a little extra noise along the way. You've got this.